Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I am a little bit of a mess. I've been training, haven't bothered to prepare myself properly. In fact, I'm still training, and I just had a little experience that I wanted to document and point out, really. So I was dancing, and I was working on a step, and I'd taken a break, and I'd come back from the break, started doing the drill, and then all of a sudden I had this eruption of feeling inside of my body. Now, I know what that feeling is, but what I'm not doing in this specific instance is naming it. Because the minute you name it, the story, the history, the memories which caused that association to come into existence get reattached to the sensation as it's happening in the moment. Now, the sensation, I will tell you for the sake of the story, was a sort of shame and embarrassment. It was a sense of, I don't know, it was a deep historic sense that I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing something like dancing. It's embarrassing. Who do I think I am? This is not something that I should do. This is not something that I'm capable of doing. Blah blah blah. It's coming from that kind of place. It's coming from the culture I grew up in was highly critical. Anybody who would stand out and do something different would be mocked and had the sometimes lovingly, sometimes not. It was just part of the culture to be very aggressive, I suppose, with the words. And so now, whenever I step out of a safe area into something that I'm not good at, something that I don't have confidence in, this emotion can re-erupt, and it really was like an eruption. Now, when it happened, what I felt was just heat. Just this heat, the heat of embarrassment, the heat of overextension, of vulnerability, just erupting through my body. And through force of discipline, I just kept drilling. I just kept going through it. But I actually this time decided to stop, and I thought, okay, let's just use this as a meditative object. So if we're following the practice of taking the mind as the path, technically, I suppose this was a feeling which was rooted in the body. So it wouldn't be taking the mind as the path because it's a feeling, it's in the body. So this would be settling the body in its natural state, or taking the feel of tactile sensations as the object of meditation. But what I did was I stopped and I looked at the emotions as they came up, and I tried to look at those emotions as if they were a third person, as if they were somebody else, and just be like, okay, there is this feeling in my body of heat, there is this feeling of heaviness, there is this feeling of burden, and I decided not to judge it, not to say get away from me, get rid of it, because that is actually feeding in to that particular emotion. So if you feel shame and then you tell yourself, I shouldn't feel shame, you are still feeling shame. It's just that now, instead of the shame being attached to, pointing towards, instead of the object of the shame being the skill that I was learning, the object of the shame would be the shame itself. And so then I feel ashamed of being ashamed, if you see. And that's where a lot of people find themselves. That's where a lot of people get stuck, because you're trying to do something new, you get embarrassed that you can't do it, and then you get embarrassed that you feel embarrassed, and then you stop doing the thing that you wanted to do, because it's very difficult to perform when your body is full of that heat and it's full of that heaviness. Now, how do you get rid of it? That's the real question, because obviously we want to pursue something, and we want to pursue it without the burden of a past which is no longer here weighing us down. We want to pursue something just in the moment, just playing with the exercise, playing with the skill, without worrying about what other people think, without worrying about what it'll be used for in the future, without worrying about what steps it took to get here. The only thing that matters when you're drilling is the drill, and you should be playing with the drill. Just play through the drill, be curious, explore it, without these other emotions and sensations and burdens of past and future. So how do you get rid of that shame? Well, once it's erupted, once it's arisen, you just have to let it pass, observe it. Maybe you can start to take some small movements, but it's best to observe that it's there, don't entangle with it, don't start to analyze it, and then move to doing something that you can control. So maybe simplify the drill and do a drill which you have confidence in. Get back into a state of mind which is strong. Or you can just simply observe it until it goes. Now, the risk of observing it is that actually you think you've separated from it, but what's really happening is you're very slowly being pulled into it, and then you'll lose all of your energy, and next thing, an hour, 2 hours goes by, and you've sat around and done nothing. So I would say, if you see these emotions come up, it's best just to pull back, find a new safe spot, a new safe level, and work on that particular level. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble too much. I just wanted to document my dealing with this strange emotion, because it happens all the time. It's just default to our life, and I see it all the time. Whenever somebody tries to do something that they're not comfortable with, they end up feeling the sensation of shame. It's a waste of time, like there's no point feeling shame 90% of the time. Yeah, rambling. Hope this is remotely interesting. Peace.